The hardest hit area appears to be Hamilton. The twister that tore through the small community ripped up everything in its path, including the volunteer fire department. That's where we find our Jory Talley live with more.
That's right, Joey. I'm standing in front of what used to be the Hamilton Volunteer Fire Department. As you can see behind me, there's no longer a roof over the building, nor all four walls are standing. The fire department is the place people go or call when there's an emergency or crisis. It's also the last place you could imagine a twister destroying. Although all of the fire trucks and all of the firemen's gear was stuck inside after the tornado, it didn't stop the firefighters from doing their job. Hamilton Volunteer Fire Department Chief Raymond Oliver says you can't imagine what's going through his mind right now.
You don't want to know.
He's been the chief here since the early 80s and took on the position not long after this building was built in the late 70s. When Oliver and other volunteers pulled up to the fire station 15 minutes after the twister came through, they weren't prepared for the sight that greeted them.
It was definitely a shock when, our first response when we get the call of something like that is to get here and get equipment to go help people. And we got here and the roof was collapsed on top of all our trucks and we couldn't do anything.
We really didn't know what to do once we pull up, and to get our vehicles to go do what we need to do, there's nothing here. So very, very emotional. Kind of had to stop in our tracks and say, what's next? Well, what do we do next? So all we knew to do then was go into action and start helping people.
And that's exactly what happened, even with all of their equipment trapped inside the remains of the building. On top of that, some of their fellow firefighters were trapped inside their homes.
We worked our way down the street, checking houses and trying to get to them also, to get them free so they could, and as soon as they were free from their house, they started helping also.
Local volunteer firemen were soon joined by firefighters from other departments, including Texas fireman Zach Evans, who made it here early Monday morning to help his hometown.
When somebody's needing 911, this is the first person they're going to call. So we have to get this back up and running as soon as possible so that we can help meet the people's needs here in the community. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to help my brother, the fire department, and some of my family as well that's been affected by the storms, along with my very best friend. His home is completely gone.
First responders have been doing everything they can since the tornado turned everything upside down here. That includes responding to a house fire Monday morning.
They were right in the path of the tornado and their house made it through the tornado, and then something like that happens. It's tragedy for sure.
Luckily, firemen were able to clear enough rubble out yesterday afternoon to get their fire trucks and equipment out in time to respond to this morning's house fire. Reporting live here in Hamilton, Jory Talley, WCBI News.
All right, thanks, Jory, for that live report.